Han Meditations.
You're evolving, you must help your parents to evolve because for an Indian person, I want you to understand the only reason why parents desperately want to have a son is because they believed that you will facilitate their liberation. Do you know this? Do you know this? Why? You don't know this? Why they want to have a son is when you die, only your son will be there to set fire to you, he will do the karmas, he'll do the kriyas. It's important because the girl gets married and goes away somewhere. See, today it's different. Wherever she is, she will come back today if you die. I didn't mean at least if you die, she'll come back. But in those days, if the girl got married and went to a faraway place, that's literally the end of it. You rarely see her, okay? She's not going to come because you die, because you can't keep the body. If she's going to walk 200 kilometers from somewhere and walk and come, she'll take 5 days and she will not come. There'll be nobody to do the things that are necessary. So always having a son was most important, he will be around. If you die, he will do the necessary things so that your liberation will happen. So in pursuit of liberation, unknowingly they bore you. Now it's time you remind them. This is an important duty for a child. As your parents are aging, and if they don't have the sense to come to their senses, you must bring sense to them. You must remind them, like I just now reminded you, you're 1 year closer to the grave. Your parents are much closer than you, isn't it? I mean, it's a fact of life. If you miss this one fact, you will live a silly life, isn't it? Yes or no? If you miss this one fact, you are going to live an extremely stupid life. So, as your birthday gift, you must remind them, it's time they looked inward. They want you to… they don't mind you being drunk, they don't mind you being lost, but they're afraid if you take a spiritual step, you may not turn back. But they're right on that. It is not that you won't go home, you will go home, but they won't have the same bondage from you as they knew. They don't have their hooks on you, suddenly you're free. That's something that nobody can tolerate. Please understand this. When I am bound, you are free, I cannot tolerate this. When I am bound, you should also be bound because I am bound to you. Why are you not bound to me? So this is the whole game. So as a son, this is one of your most important duties, to remind your parents that in their life it is important, they've done whatever they knew best till now. It is time that they turn inward, it is time they invested some time and energy upon their own inner well-being. Because if they don't do this one thing, they will die miserably for sure. Yes. If you have not found anything beyond the physical, when the moment of death comes, terror is the only way. You have no other choice, isn't it? You don't want your parents to die in terror, you want them to die gracefully, isn't it? No? So, you must turn inward, you must make sure they turn inward.
What do you think about that, Kelly?
It's interesting. He always has a very interesting, logical way of putting things, but it's really true because our parents really, really love us and they raise us, and so much of themselves is attached in us. And it's like, sometimes it's hard, like if we move out, it can be sad for the parents or things like this, but it's funny, I would never think of it that way, but becoming spiritually enlightened, the goal of spiritual enlightenment is to not have attachment to anything, which would include your parents, where basically you don't need anything. You don't need material objects, you don't need any people. And it can be a really hard thing for parents to feel like they don't need us anymore. That's why sometimes they don't want to let us go, and they can be sad if we move out or move or, get our own home, start our own family. They want the best for us, but it can be hard.
Yeah, the point of spiritual attachment is so that you're not, or the point of becoming spiritual is so that you're not attached to anything because you're already attached to everything, because you are connected to everything. You are one with everything. So that's one of the paradoxical moments when you become more and more spiritual enlightened. But I really love what Sadhguru said, because it's the duty of the son or the daughter, whatever, but in this case, I'm just saying the son because that's what Sadhguru said. It's the duty of the son to bring that inner peace to the parents. Because as a daughter, you do go on, you do live another life, you do get married, you do have another family, but you could still do that for your parents as well. But ultimately, I believe it is up to the son in most cases, because they are going to carry on the family name. And also, like, even in my perspective, a lot of times I do find myself telling my parents to look inward, not just for spiritual reasons to prepare them for death, but just to look inward in every aspect of life. If they're getting upset, hey, why don't you just calm down, think about everything you're grateful for. And my parents are really good at this, especially my mother. She taught me and ingrained this kind of stuff into me. But even as spiritually advanced as she is, sometimes she does forget everyone has a bad day. Sometimes everyone gets stressed out sometimes. So it's important for you as a child of your children to remind them and to tell them, hey, just think about your life in a different way. Think about if you are living to 110 years old and you could come back one day, and this is the one day you could come back. Would you be having an attitude? Would you be, angry or easily manipulated by emotions, or would you be happy and grateful for this very moment right here? So that's just something to think about. And you have to bring this to your parents. And also in every aspect, you should be bringing to your parents to expand and keep that expansion going, because you are the better version of your parents. So whenever you have children and I have children, I'm thinking of them as the better version of me. I'm going to be able to teach them things that I was never taught. I'm going to be able to show them things that I was never shown and help them expand, because these kids nowadays are getting more and more advanced spiritually and mentally. So you should think of yourself as the better version of your parents, in which you can help them in every aspect of life. The world is changing. If parents aren't good with the internet, you should be showing them that. If they have a business and they don't know, specific things like maybe AI integration, things that, young people are doing nowadays, you should be showing them all of this stuff so that they can learn and expand, and also encouraging them to meditate and look inward, like Sadhguru said. So I believe it's every aspect of reality. You should be helping and expanding your parents' consciousness on that. And that was such a beautiful video. That was one of my favorite ones from Sadhguru. Seeing how his Mother's Day just came up, I like doing these parents videos and just, reminding people that you are your parents' children. It doesn't matter what happened between you and your parents. You should send them love and harmony and hope the best for them. So
yeah, becoming the best version of yourself can only benefit your parents in many different ways, whether it's you start giving them some advice, as Han said, or, get to a place where you can help them out financially, whatever it may be. There's many, many ways you can help your parents. And eventually you get to that pendulum shift where in the beginning of our lives, we are totally dependent on our parents. But then at the end of our parents' lives, often they become dependent on us as they age and they start to need help. Mm-hmm. And you can always help once you become an adult, you can help your parent. You can give them advice. You become the best version. Even if they don't see it at first, it will benefit them. Yeah. As long as you're following your heart, becoming the best version of you, everyone around you can feel that energy. Trust me, whether they really see it in the forefront of their mind or not, if it's in the back of their mind, they still feel that energy. Trust me, whether they say it or not, it is 100% true.
Yep. So guys, like the video, subscribe. Let me know you're still watching, engaging in the content. I'd love to see it, guys. It keeps me motivated. We're putting out new content every single week, meditation every week. Show your parents one of my meditations that you enjoy to do. Really get them spiritually going and get yourself spiritually going as well. It's a time for change, a time for love, and a time for harmony and respect. Thank you guys for watching.
See you in the next video.